Hello and welcome to Attackers of Opportunity. This is your DM, Michael. I'm sitting around a virtual table with some of my friends, and we're about to play some D&D.
Yeah!
During that week and a half, doing research on the Eastern Continent is absolutely something that can happen. Heather, you raised a finger. Do you still have something else?
I'm wondering if either the wizard or someone else in town might have an arcane bag of holding.
Ooh. Hell you what? Hell you what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, roll me a percentile dice.
Percentile, you got it. That's 68.
68. Almost nice.
So close.
You find in one of the shops that there's a kind of an old curio shop, and there's a couple of little magic trinkets in it. There's a stone that's attached to a little leather thong that the shopkeep tells you, oh, well, if you have this in your hand while you're piloting a ship and trying to guide by the stars, this will help keep your ship's course straight and true. A couple of other minor artifacts, but one of them is, in fact, a bag of holding. It's been beat up. Clearly this was well used by adventurers in the past. It is absolutely a bag of holding, totally functional, but it looks like a weathered almost saddlebag.
I love it. Very apropos.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The shop goes, well, I can say that absolutely. No problem. Hey, that's why you come to Bruce Grelin's Shop of Curiosities. It's another random name generator. But Bruce Gellin, needs a little coin or some back and trade from you. I mean, I could sell you that bag. The bag's a nice bag. I mean, it's seen a lot of years, clearly. And they go into this salesman spiel to you. And they go, tell you what, I'll lock you little pixies. You pay me 750 gold, nice, cheap, out the door, all in package, no taxes on that. I'll take care of all that. Don't you worry. 750 gold, it is yours.
It's a little high. Would anyone else like to pitch in with this opinion?
I mean, do you realize who you're speaking to, sir? Do you know what we have done?
I know that good old Goose Grellin is talking to Pixie and talking to, I'm assuming, an elf or half-elf.
Half. I'm Lord Dorian Vasanderal, and we are members of the Platinum Ring.
We saved your city. Mm-hmm.
We stopped the Stone Blight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll a dice on that. Yeah, Goose Grellin stops for a moment with Platinum Ring, and if this was a cartoon, dollar signs would roll over Goose Grellin's eyes and go, well, here's the. I didn't realize I was talking to members of the Platinum Ring here. Oh, it's wonderful. It's tell you what, 750. That's like normal customers that are just going out in the world. You all are the Platinum Ring though. You travel all across this world. You know all sorts of people. Tell you what the deal that I'll do here. I'll cut my fee in half if you tell everybody that you run into about how good Goose Grellin was to all of you and how my curiosity shop is one of the highlights of Knos.
Well, Goose, I think we'd be happy to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the cities that we end up in, your business might quadruple.
I know people coming from all over, and they know that the Goose Grellin shop is where they got to stop while they're in town. That will certainly the loss that I will take. I will have to eat scraps off the butcher's block for weeks on end, no doubt, until they start coming in. But I will suffer for the future potential of my shop being here. I will dine on exposure to try to make this to another day.
Didn't realize you could dine on exposure, but I believe you could make it work.
Why, thank you there, Lord Dorian Van der Sorrel.
So you don't even want the persuasion roll. He just went with it.
I kind of rolled his reaction to the talk of the town.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
So
we're going to ride that out as much as we can.
Do you have a card we can take just to make it easy? And could just show him the banner or card.
Well, actually, here, let me just examine and see if I can illusory image make a business sign.
Yes.
I was actually thinking much the same. Goose Grellin bringing out a stone that if you set it on the countertop and tap it, it will holograph display the shop information. But I like your illusionary image much better.
Love it.
Is this something like what you were thinking?
Oh, that'd be great right there. You display that in towns and taverns, tell heroes that, I will gladly, those people that have done notable service for the city of Knos, that I look out for my fellow brethren, that I look out for the heroes, and that I understand that good must win the day.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Yes, well, half price. What do you think?
I think 200 gold for this is great.
Oh, I'll say half price, which I believe is 375 if I've done my math correctly.
No, I think 200. It's 200, right?
What was the original?
750.
So 200.
If you want to do that, I will need a perception check to take it even further down off the
Persuasion?
Persuasion.
You got it. I got a 19.
Okay.
It's not free to do magic. We'll have to do that a lot.
So I'm going to tell the story, and then I'll give you the result.
I love it.
So I took a cruise the other week, and we went down to Ensenada in Mexico. And while we were there was a couple of table vendors that were set up, and there was a guy who had some jewelry out on it. There was a necklace that looked very similar to styles I've seen one of my aunts wear. So I asked him what the price was, and he goes, "Oh, well, it's $400, but today I'll make you a good deal." And it was get into haggle mode kind of thing. And I turned to him immediately. It's like, if it had been $75, maybe $100, then I would have considered it. We're too far apart at this point. I won't even waste your time. And I walk away towards back the bus to take us back to the boat. And I get about 6 steps, and he goes, "Oh, I can sell it for $200." So he went down from 400 to 200 real fast. So I can only imagine how little that thing actually cost him.
Seriously.
Yep.
So because you hit on 200, and that reminded me of the story, and it was just last weekend.
Yes, I love it.
Goose Grellin will say, all right, 200, but I need every tavern that you hit for the next year. I need you to talk about every town that you go into. There's a shop or something there. Tell them that Goose Grellin's a good trading partner. I need to make sure that if I'm going to take that much of a haircut on the price of this, that I'm getting as much out there as I can.
Absolutely. We go to a lot of taverns, actually, and a lot of towns. So everyone will know of you.
All right.
You're paying for it with exposure.
Exactly.
Okay, so 200 gold.
Mm-hmm. I still have no money, so Dorian, you want to be sugar daddy this time?
200 gold. Okay.
I walk in at this point. There you are. I've been looking for you. I've written a contract.
200 gold.
Oh, it's a lovely shop.
This is so funny because I loot all the time too. I just never get gold.
Maybe because
you roll 93s.
That's
on your loot
true.
check, so I have to give you stuff, not just
That's fair. I'm not mad about it. It's just hilarious.
Moonbeam, I will front this for you, and I will help with spreading this gentleman's word of his business.
Oh, right.
Perhaps you could help me out with having some of that sapphire imbued into some of my things.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
And then we'll just say, here's the 200 gold.
And you can use this bag, whenever you like.
Wonderful. I give it 200.
Yes.
I just back out.
Just contract. Ooh, just kidding.
Don't want to be part of this.
How very Homer into the bushes of you.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm more Grandpa Simpson. Hello, goodbye.
Well, if my buddy Plate Basher comes through, I'm going to be rolling in the bank soon, and then y'all can get your money back.
Well, here's my deal. Right. So I've lent you 1,000 gold pieces for sharing your operation to be paid back with a 2% interest applied every session.
We'll see about that. We'll see how many times Moonbeam has to save your ass.
We could talk about deals and discounts.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be keeping track.
And maybe next time when there's a big thing that we're fighting, I won't be able to heal you. So weird.
That's okay. I can heal myself.
That's fair.
I'm very sustainable.
I'm just looking for some magical effects for myself.
Yeah. Just over here in the corner quietly. I have a question about about Plate Basher. Do we have a stone of sending that we can keep communication open or anything?
You do not at present, no.
Perfect.
And I did not
I'll go back to him in this week and whatever that we're forging and studying.
You can write love letters back and forth. Where's my money?
I want my $2.
Yeah, exactly.
$2.
I've written it down.
Nice. Better screenshot.
Signed right here.
In blood.
Whatever works.
So, researching time, learning things about the Eastern continent, and this will potentially be the last thing we do for the day. So, Valok, we haven't heard from him in a while, so let's jump over. What is Valok doing in this week and a half?
I spent a lot of times with the clerics in the temples, getting to know the dwarven gods, finding out who their diplomacy god is, having debates about the values of Rao, having deep discussions about the fundamental understanding of the universe. He tries to share this knowledge that he has now. Yeah, he's being very cerebral.
Okay.
And he is talking like this.
the whole time.
So one of the kind of strongest cleric presence in town is the worshippers of Moradin, who is often seen as a god of the forge, but is often also has an aspect of judgment, and not so much a judgment of wrath, but a judgment of justice. A god who could be pleaded with, that the clerics can be talked to, and they will do their best to render what they feel is the just and fair verdict in the situation. So as far as the logic goes, you are able to kind of talk to a couple of the older dwarven clerics that they themselves are almost like lawyers as far as how they've learned so much about the law. They've learned how to negotiate, how to find and fight for the proper justice of the congregants around them. And they are happy to spend their time chatting with you and hearing about Rao and sharing their teachings of Moradin to you as well. One of the last days that you are in town, the priest that you've been talking to most of the time, Duonin Silveraxe. Duonin will come to you and go, I understand, good sir, that you have been traveling with the Platinum Ring, our founding member, that you've done such great service in town, that I truly wanted to thank you for the work that you've done on the town's behalf. I know that your god and our god are not the same, but I would like to cast a blessing on you all the same if you are willing to carry a positive mark from a god not your own.
Yes, blessings are not exclusive.
I agree. There are people that do not pledge their allegiance or loyalty to one god at all. There are some that pledge their loyalty to more than one. There's nothing that says that I cannot say kind words over you, nor you over me.
Yes, and you know, your thanks are necessary. I am just doing what must be done.
True, and if you have been a force for positive change, it seems, and as a just reward, I would like to put good thoughts, good energy into your orbit as well, so that you can continue on as a person of justice and protection for the common man.
Yes, there is nothing wrong with thoughts and prayers.
Not where I thought you were with that, but okay. With that, the dwarf will kind of stand up from the benches you all have been sitting on and step over and place the left hand on your right shoulder and bow their head in prayer for a moment. And you feel this electric tingle, a charge more, run through your body and down your spine, and this energy kind of leap through your body. And after a moment, you notice that Duonin is screaming. And Duonin tries to remove their hand from your body, tries to step away, tries to pull back, and just keeps screaming and can't move his muscles enough to pull his hand away from you.
Valok jumps back in surprise.
Okay. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
+3, so 9.
9. You force yourself back, tumbling over the bench that you'd been sitting on, knocking the stone bench to the ground, yourself flat on your back away. You fortunately dislodged Duonin's hand from your shoulder so that Duonin didn't come tumbling with you, but you lay there in shock for a moment, and after just another half second of screaming from Duonin collapses on the ground. I'm going to assume that you stand up and go over to Duonin?
Yes, I rush to attempt to lay on hands.
Okay. As you approach Duonin, you hear Duonin muttering in Dwarvish quietly to himself. Do you speak Dwarvish?
I do not speak Dwarvish.
Okay. It seems to be...
I pull out a parchment and quill and copy down the sounds that he is making.
He seems to be saying 4 distinct word sound patterns.
Yes, I try to write them out phonetically.
Right. Plon, postage, fenet, umbar. And the accent is on the bar.
Plon, postage, fenet, umbar.
After 30 seconds, a minute or so, a couple of the other dwarven clerics come running in, having heard the scream and just needing to kind of cover some of the distance. You try to lay your hands on Duonin, and you feel the energy go out into him as though you are healing. But You feel the energy go out. However, he doesn't stop saying those 4 words over and over and over again.
His attack, his mind or his soul. I grab one of the nearby clerics, like as you said, as clerics version, right?
Yes.
And I Plune, Pistache, Plinet, Umbar. What does that mean? Are those names?
Drig Broadhead answers you. Goes, it's just gibberish. It's Avatar champion together united. It's just gibberish. It's just gibberish.
Valok drops his quill in parchment and shock.
They will try to bundle up and take Dwonin back deeper into the temple and attempt to administer to him and try to recover from whatever has caused this. Pausing you there in that moment. Dicky, other than being sugar daddy, how are you spending your week?
Money lender. What am I doing?
Yes. Are you researching? Are you
Yes.
do you have stuff to sell? What are you doing for your week?
Yeah. Well, my main thing was, of course, researching viable areas that could be swampland in that area.
Roll me. This would be an intelligence check, I believe. You'd be in a library. You'd have time, so you can roll it with advantage.
There's not investigation.
Well, I mean, you're investigating books.
Let's see how bad my roll was. 14 of intelligence. Oh, advantage? 16.
Advantage. Okay. Yeah. 16, given the time, like you spend your week looking and you look at maps and you read, the occasional books that you can find on types of plants and histories of the Eastern continent, of the countries there and things of that nature. And you find a couple of references to things. You find that the country of Yuan is home of a culture that is full of raiders. They usually raid by ship, think sort of Viking, where they will send out raiding parties to the neighboring countries, to shipping lanes, etc. So they are very dangerous, and it's often said that the pirates will avoid them as best they are able, because they will gladly pirate a pirate. And so there's definitely some concern there. You learn that in their kind of major coastal bay that their kind of capital city is usually based off of is a large dry dock shipbuilding facility that allows them to build all of these ships. It's not full on mechanized, but they could probably pump out a small armada in 6 months. Their countryside right around the coast is quite pleasant, lots of fertile soil, places for people to sit up. As it gets further into the continent, it gets very arid and very much a desert. So the majority of their population is on the eastern end around their main bay. You find a little bit of history of Amia. It's the country that is very much right on that outer peninsula. And they are kind of surrounded by Yuan. Yuan in centuries past tried to conquer them and kind of claim more coastline. However, the Amayas have built themselves a huge network of roads inland so they can maneuver their forces around to repel attacks much more rapidly. And that is what has allowed them to keep pace with, a ship has, hit the shore and disgorged a company of soldiers from Yuan. Well, their road and their army is able to get to that location very rapidly. You suspect, based on some of the word choice in there, they've done something to magically infuse the roads to allow the soldiers to march faster.
Okay, that's an Amiya.
16 intelligence. Let's see what other thing. Rakos is something very much of an unknown. It's got a large peninsula that goes off into the water. It is said to be the home of a lot of lizard folk tribes, though they very much do not have a great deal of trade. They do not have a shipping industry. Even if they did, Yuan would probably try to raid it and dominate it as much as they could. Rakos has enough greenery and growth that they have a bit of trade with Sinisma, because there's some like herbs and plant life that they have that you can't find anywhere else in the world. Generally, let's see. Also on the East Coast, I'll give you one more. The country of Watan. The country of Watan is set up a little more north and west, but they're they're on the other end of Ewan.
Okay.
They are a bit more, think Mongol horse tribes. So they do have a lot of ground-based raiding parties, but not so much ship-based. They have fairly rolling plains with a bit of growth. Kind of their southern border is the northern end of the desert of Ewan. They are not friendly to Sinisma, but they only share one very small section of border with Sinisma. They certainly aren't in open warfare, and rarely are they even in open conflict, but it is very much they don't like each other. Hopefully that gives you some good information.
Well, yes. I mean, are there drawings or descriptions of these lizard folk? Are they of like a greenish quality?
There are a couple of drawings and sketches, and you find one book even on the anatomy of the creatures. And if you think Komodo dragons, if they were humanoid. So bipedal, triangular face kind of out with snouts, that they are green, but sometimes they'll be brown. They'll have a mixture of colors. The different tribes are potentially slightly different bloodlines. It's not quite as dramatic as a dragonborn.
Right.
But you would get some bright green, you'd get some malted green, you'd get tan like mud. So you'd get a couple of different skin variations or scale variations in the lizard folk.
None that would look like a spiny, deserty lizard type. They look more like you'd find in tropical areas, lizards.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. All right. I also need to acquire a means of getting there other than teleportation. Although, does his helm take us anywhere or only places we've been?
He can basically cast the teleport spell. If he knows, there's a chance that it could misfire. If he knows where he's going, or if he knows exactly where a magic circle is, teleportation circle is, he can teleport directly to it. Like, you guys are super familiar with the Citadel. There was like a 1 in 10 chance that was going to go wrong. But yeah, sometimes the spell will put you right exactly where you're looking for. Sometimes it'll put you nearby. Like, if you're aiming to wind up in your living room, a small mishap might put you in your backyard. A slightly larger mishap will put you 3 blocks away from your house. A total misfire puts you in Iowa.
Right.
Nice.
And knowing the place that you've not ever having been to a place, the chances are really low.
Yes. If I was trying to cast it after having heard the description of your living room, my odds of being able to pull that off would be minimal. But having been to your living room a few times, having familiarity with it myself, I would have a better chance of getting there. If we drew a teleportation circle in your living room and I knew exactly the magical ID of that, I could teleport there every time, no problem.
How do you get the magical ID? Just by looking at it?
That's a teleportation circle. You need to know the glyphs and runes of that circle.
So looking at it, I could figure that out, right?
Yes.
Excellent.
I think you're supposed to spend like an hour studying the magic circle to know basically its address. The Stargate address to have
Right. Gotta get the right chevrons.
It's true. I really hope that reboot actually happens. I fucking love that show.
It would be super awesome if it did, especially that there was they wanted like a new continuity, same stay in the same continuity.
Yeah.
That would be super cool.
Right.
What, Sliders?
No, Stargate.
Oh, Stargate, yes.
Mhm.
Stargate.
Stargate universes.
I've actually played D&D once with the guy who played Eli from Stargate Universe.
Yeah?
The young guy.
Was he the smart one? Like the
Yeah.
genius? There we go.
That's
SGU is
amazing.
my least favorite. I won't lie. It's because I grew up on SG1,
Oh.
and then Atlantis, of course, got in there very nicely. So SGU, I was like, it's so different.
Yeah, that's what I
I was
like.
a fan of the original.
And
Yeah.
Stargate people don't like.
No, we like the cheesiness of SG1 and
Yeah.
Atlantis.
I like it all. I like it all for different reasons.
Yeah, I appreciate SGU for what it was and what it did. I'm just, if I was given the choice of whichever ones to watch, I would start with SG1, and then Atlantis would be close second, and then you, I'd be like, in a while.
Yeah. I get you. I rewatched it during COVID, and I like it a little. I like it more now than when it was out.
Okay.
I have an idea that I'm going to go talk to my friends about.
Okay. While you're formulating that idea, I do just want to go to Dorian real fast. In the week, are you doing research? Are you talking to people? What are you doing for the week and a half?
I would like to do research on swamp areas in the eastern continent, and I want to take up Moonbeam on the offer of infusing bits of the sapphire into items I already have.
Okay.
That's all.
Gotcha. So give me an intelligence check. You're in a library. You'll get advantage. I'm going to put the DC 2 points higher than Dickie's because you're also spending time doing the magical infusion. infusion. So you're spending a little less time researching.
Okay.
So give me an intelligence roll with advantage.
All right.
And no guidance because you're spending days doing this.
Okay. 21.
Nice.
21. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Swampy areas. The best information you can find strongly suggests Ricos as the likely swampiest and rainforest area that you can find in the eastern continent.
Rakos. Okay.
Ricos. I'll say that Taigong is one of the other eastern countries. They would have heavily forested areas that may have some bog-like elements, but they are number 2 on your suspect list. I'll put it that way.
You said that's
Okay.
Tygon?
Taigong.
Gotcha.
Yeah, with a 21 and a week to research books, yeah, you're going to find out that there's a lot of swamps in Ricos.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I wanted to narrow it down so we're not just like, oh, we're going to search this whole damn continent.
Yeah. See y'all in a year.
Tell you what, I'll even do this. You got a 21. You find a story. Now, how much you can believe the story or not, that's up to you. But there's a reference to a tribe of lizard folk that made a deal with the elementals around them. So like they made deals with water elementals to keep their water around their village pure, cleaner, healthier. They made deals with fire elementals to light the braziers of their town so that it would be light at night. They made deals with earth elementals to keep the foundations of their buildings just that much firmer. The suggestion of where this tribe is located, the only specific thing that you can seem to find is they're on a forked river, right where the river from its 2 tributaries comes and joins and then flows out to the sea. So right at that join point seems to be where that's referenced.
And that's all I can figure out.
Yes.
Okay. I can't take any time and cross-reference rivers near the coast that have a fork. I can't search for that on a map.
If you want to spend more time in town, absolutely. I'm giving you the information that you find in this first week and a half.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine then.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll buy a map book.
Okay.
But I want to take care of the other stuff.
Gotcha. So then you want to try to infuse items. Do you have an existing item that you want to infuse with new energy, or do you want to use the infusion to create a new item for you?
What would be cheaper? I would talk to the wizard who would be doing the infusion. Actually, I would probably be talking to him a lot. Like, how does this work?
What magic items do you have at this point?
Well, I've got my glasses. That doesn't really
they don't do much.
I've got my armor, my elven chain shirt of the
Warlord, yeah.
Lord.
Warning.
I do have my spell focus, which is, I believe, at a +2 right now. So if I could infuse it into that, maybe. I've got boots. That give me like a little more speed, and I've got a cloak of elvenkind.
That's right.
Cloak of elvenkind, as I recall, gives a advantage on stealth checks, right?
It gives disadvantage to the person trying to perceive you.
Oh, okay. That's right. Boots give you
Boots Velvet can get advantage.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the wizard will kind of look over your existing gear and look at the energy and talking to the pixie who's flying around a bit and goes, okay, I think I got I forget what voice I used for the caster. I think I got two options for you. So you've got these platinum pen quills here. If you were looking to create, if you wanted to write scrolls, make them out of spells that you knew, or sell to a wizard to make scrolls out of spells that they knew, I could use energy out of the sapphire to infuse into the pen quills to make it that much easier to transfer the spell and maybe even increase the energy of the spell.
I see. Would this only work for scrolls or perhaps in an actual spell book?
Well, the energy in a spell is going to get released when the spell is cast. The spell book is going to be used to learn the spells for the person to cast. So it might help you transcribe them and learn new spells, but it's not going to give you a casting of the spell like they would on a scroll.
I see. And your other option?
The other option, that's pretty fancy cloak of yours there. I think that I can take energy from the sapphire and infuse it in the magic that's already set up in that cloak to increase its ability to hide you from your enemies.
I see. Let's do that one.
All right. It's going to take me a few days. And I mean, it's going to take some other resources as conduits for this energy. 500 gold?
How much?
500 gold?
Well, I mean...
Or give me the pen quills and I'll infuse them off of the energy and I'll take that as my payment for doing your work.
How about this? Here's my counterproposal.
Okay.
I give you 6 of the pen quills. No, I'll give you them all. You give me one back after you've infused it.
And you want me to work on your cloak?
Yes.
Well, roll a persuasion check.
I would love to. Guidance.
Damn!
No, I didn't. That's not supposed to be at advantage.
Gotcha.
Shit.
But
That would have been nice.
That would have been so nice.
It's a 15 on persuasion.
15 is solid.
It's not a 30.
I know,
not
right?
very
That would have been amazing.
all right, I think I could take that deal. Yeah, I'll infuse all 7. I'll give you back one of them, and I'll infuse into that cloak of yours. That's of course assuming that your pixie friend agrees to all this. It is her item, is my understanding.
It is.
I leave it to you, but
I agree. As long as you're careful.
I will be very careful because there's enough energy in this rock to blow at least me up, if not like half the town. So I'll be very careful.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
And we better keep this under wraps. No one can know about this stone.
I mean, what stone?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Good man.
All right, so they will. The wizard will work on the pen quills. So you now have 1 infused platinum pen quill for the cloak of elven kind. He works with it and gives it back to you. In low light, you become invisible until you take an action.
Yes.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone is trying to, if you're running from an animal, it could still smell you, but at least you'd be invisible to a potential attacker or someone who's hunting for you.
Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With that, we've done some shopping. We've done some infusion. You guys spent an extra week and a half now in town. So really it's been 2 weeks because there were several days between the return of Barrios and the funeral. And now you've spent another week and a half. So it's been about 2 weeks that you've been in town. The Silverthrust family is happy to continue to host you all, especially because you have restored a lot of their honor and their position within the city. If you want to stay longer, they're probably going to start, asking you to find locations or, contribute to the household for some cash or things like that. But for taking that extra kind of a week off, absolutely, they'll put you up for that. I think that will end us for the evening, but I need to know if you want to spend more time here in Knos, because there could be other things happening in Knos, or do you want to try to get over to the Eastern continent, either via crazy odds teleportation or finding your pirate buddies or chartering a ship?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to them about during that week.
Yeah, same.
Okay, well, let's do that over a dinner the night before you're going to get the cloak and all the magical doodads back.
Okay.
You all can have a nice dinner and a bit of a nice Chianti, and you get some roasted fowl on skewers. A nice spread is put out for all of you.
Wonderful.
This whole time, our blue meanie, what has he been doing?
Great question.
Valok was working with a lot of the clerics.
No, not Alec. The meanie.
No,
The
Meanie. I'm
our,
definitely
like,
not meanie.
It's
Valak is not meanie.
Yeah, the civic hybrid.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been casting non-detect on him every day. And
Well,
Yeah.
we've had other people casting non-detect on him.
oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Non-detect,
Keep it
and
hidden.
he's being given, bread and water and the occasional bit of jerky just to keep him alive and all that.
So that's what I wanted to discuss to spend with the team. As far as getting there, I have a crazy, probably very stupid idea.
Let's hear
Really? What's your stupid idea?
Mm-hmm.
Well, either Valak or I can teleport to teleportation circles. We know that our blue friend can teleport to one as well. He did say he would teleport us, right?
True.
If we set him free and allow him to teleport himself home, and I scry him at the same time, then I could see that teleport circle and eventually figure out how to teleport to it. But then we would be there.
Yeah.
But we'd be a full continent, we'd cut some time out. We would just have to escape from that area.
Right.
Once we
That
got-
is
And
rub.
there
But
might
we-
be an army there waiting for
Maybe,
us.
but then maybe a Valak could teleport us blindly like 200 miles east and see what happens.
Or we could take a boat.
What?
We could just get on the boat.
All right, I was trying to cut out some time.
Well, the
Well-
Trail Dragon did move you pretty quickly once the pirate ship got to it.
Oh, we can take the dragon.
I don't think we're supposed to go back to the dragon until we've taken care of the corruption.
Well, the deal was the dragon will cast the spell on you for a year and a day.
Mhm.
Right.
And then if you haven't destroyed the corruptions or stopped them or solved them or whatever, then you
Right.
if you haven't solved it within the year and the day, then it was don't come back.
That's true.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
For now,
Yeah.
we're good. We're still cool.
We're still cool right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
All right. So in that case, I forgot my idea. Oh yes, in that case, I have discovered the most likely location for an evil swamp.
Ooh.
Provided that the dragon doesn't tell us. There's a land called Rakos.
Mm.
Yes, it's an isthmus. It's a peninsula.
Mhm.
This is actually what I've also read about.
Oh, people
Yes,
who live there
it's
are lizard folk of the jungle wet variety.
Lizard folk. That's interesting. I came upon a story about lizard folk.
Go on.
Lizard folk that made deals with certain elemental entities to give them light, give their crops a good chance of being very fruitful. So there are lizard folk in Rakos.
Yes, they're from Rakos. Most of the ones I've looked at, they do not look like the kind that live in arid places. They look like the kind of lizards you would find in a jungle, you say, or swamp.
Ooh.
So I thought maybe we could start at the little just the tip of Rakos there and go up the red rocket, go up the peninsula there and explore the entire shaft there of Rakos until we get to the base.
Let
Sounds
me
promising.
get this straight. You want to start at the tip.
Yes, just the tip.
And go up the shaft.
Yes, that's right.
And then
Up the
work
entire
our way.
length.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Perhaps we
Encompass the
could
entire-
work our way down one side and then up the other side.
Well, we could. Sure, we can go up and down if you wish, but
Sort of a spiral, I guess.
it's rather thin. I mean, it's not a lot to work with. So we can, we could probably cover it pretty quickly.
I mean, it's a very wet climate. We'll move quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Very moist.
Mhm.
And
Sounds
jungly.
right.
Very
Mhm.
jungly.
This all sounds very pleasant to me.
I would just warn you, you do have to watch out for the foliage around the base of the peninsula.
Yes, I hear there's lots of vines.
As always. Mhm.
Oh, yes, yes. There's a little
It's-
forest there.
Yes, it's tricky. It sometimes makes it look not as long as it is, but
I would have thought with all of the shipbuilding that they'd have trimmed it a bit.
no
No?
ships. Not a lot. They don't get out much.
Yeah, Ewan is the shipbuilding.
Mhm.
Yes, they're right there, though.
Yes,
At
I
the base.
was just making sure that the clarification was out there.
That's fine.
They're right there at the base.
I believe I'm spent on the information for that. So there we are.
Indeed.
I'm glad you came to that conclusion.
Yeah, so
Must be a familiar feeling too.
that's what I've been saying. If it didn't have that tiny little red tip like a dog, it wouldn't.
Oh my god.
Oh.
boy, Red Rocket boy.
If,
Right.
if we don't find what we're looking for in Rakos, I believe
Yes.
the other country I found that is also purported to have a lot of swampland is Taigon.
Taigong? How's that so?
At least that's what I've found in my research.
Yes, fascinating. Not in that area, but still has swamp, eh?
Yes, yes. I mean, not as much as Rakos, but
But it's on the way to the island, so if there's nothing in Rakos, we continue Taigong and then to the island of DLC.
indeed.
I like this plan. The island of DLC.
Ikishima. Right.
Okay. In that case, I believe that gives us a direction, a narrative, a goal to shoot for. Thank you for listening to Attackers of Opportunity. We really enjoyed making this podcast, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to it. If you did, please go ahead and leave a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on. Also, you can find us on Instagram at Attackers of Opportunity. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you on the next episode.